David, does Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that, you know what I mean? He's going up 2 other weight classes when he had just went up to 154. So.
Caleb Plant has broken his silence on the highly anticipated clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, and his take on the matchup is already generating a lot of buzz.
Stylistically, this is just my last follow-up. Do you think Canelo should be the favorite in the fight because he's bigger, or do you see he had trouble with Skull, his speed? Terence is going to throw a lot more, and he has that speed also.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting people will probably have Canelo as a favorite.
Having already experienced Canelo's strength inside the ring, Plant pointed out that this upcoming bout won't be like anything fans are used to. He emphasized that the meeting between Mexico's top star and America's pound-for-pound great promises a completely different kind of spectacle. Anticipation has been building for months, and with Fight Night now just around the corner, excitement is at an all-time high. On September 13th, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas will host what many consider one of the biggest matchups of this era. Crawford will be stepping up to super middleweight for the very first time, targeting Canelo's throne as the reigning undisputed champion at 168 pounds.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
Yeah.
Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo being Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collect all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, of course he's probably been training, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
Plant, who previously held the IBF title before losing it to Canelo, shared his personal breakdown of the showdown. In his view, the fight won't just be entertaining. It's likely to feature far more exchanges than what fans have seen in some of Canelo's earlier bouts. While Plant acknowledged that the betting edge naturally favors the Mexican star, given Crawford's jump across several weight divisions, he stopped short of naming a clear winner. For him, this is the kind of matchup where boxing fans should sit back, enjoy the spectacle, and not get too caught up in predictions.
It doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So, odds only mean so much. Once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Don't know. I'm just, as a fan, excited to see the fight. And from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm excited for it.
Unlike Plant, not everyone is taking a neutral stance. Mexican boxing icon Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., one of the nation's most decorated champions, is far more certain about the outcome. He insists that Canelo's physical advantages will be overwhelming for Crawford, no matter how sharp or skilled the American may be. According to Chavez Sr., the gap in power and size will become obvious as the fight unfolds, and he predicts Canelo will finish the job well before the later rounds, most likely scoring a stoppage around the 6th or 7th.
Bueno, es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo is going to knock him out.
Antonio Tarver, on the other hand, has voiced full belief in Crawford's ability to pull off another major upset. While he respects the challenge of going up against Canelo, Tarver argues that Crawford's sharp mind, versatility, and ability to adjust mid-fight could tip the balance in his favor. He points to Crawford's speed and unpredictable rhythm as key factors that might trouble Canelo, who typically thrives on timing, counterpunching, and consistent pressure. For Tarver, the real question isn't about size. It's about which man can stay composed and make the smarter choices in the heat of battle.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
Another big name who has shared his perspective is former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz, a fighter well known for silencing critics when he shocked Anthony Joshua. Ruiz made it clear he respects Canelo's abilities, but he stressed that in boxing, styles often matter more than size. He reminded fans that Canelo has shown difficulties in the past against smooth, technical southpaws, and with Crawford's left-handed stance and high fight IQ, the matchup could present serious challenges. Even so, Ruiz stopped short of choosing a side, calling the bout too risky and unpredictable to make a confident prediction.
Well, all I know is that if you were in a Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times bigger. Still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
On the more cautious end, veteran trainer Sanchez raised a different kind of concern. He questioned whether Crawford's body can truly handle the quick leap through multiple weight classes in such a short period of time. While Crawford has put on size impressively over the past year, Sanchez argued that it usually takes years to properly build the kind of frame needed to absorb punches from someone as powerful as Canelo. He also warned that the extra muscle could slow Crawford down, taking away the speed and sharpness that have always defined his style. And if those qualities slip even a little, Sanchez believes Canelo will make him pay.
To have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time, I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength, but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it in.
Even Andre Ward, widely regarded as one of the sharpest minds in boxing, has weighed in on the matchup. Ward highlighted the similarities between Canelo and Crawford, noting that neither man is a straightforward brawler or a pure technician. Instead, both are well-rounded fighters who blend power, accuracy, and strategy. According to Ward, this fight won't be decided by who can hit the hardest. It will come down to who can strike the right balance between aggression and discipline. In his view, any lapse in focus or reckless decision-making from either side could prove costly.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I have not been against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Erislandy Lara, who shared the ring with Canelo in a highly debated bout years ago, also gave his perspective. He believes Crawford's best chance lies in discipline and constant movement. Lara himself built success on slick footwork, sharp defense, and the ability to frustrate rivals, and he feels Crawford should follow a similar blueprint. In Lara's eyes, trading heavy shots would only play into Canelo's strengths. Instead, staying mobile, dictating the distance, and forcing Canelo to come forward could swing rounds in Crawford's favor. For Lara, victory depends more on ring control and composure than raw power.
He sees it as a very interesting 50-50 fight. He feels like Canelo's very strong right now, and he wants to figure out to see how Crawford's going to handle the power, especially in the early rounds, and what's going to happen. So yeah, he said he remembers fighting Canelo back 14 years ago it is now, and he said he remembers he used his legs real good, and as long as Crawford uses his legs, and he doesn't let Canelo just hit him in the arms and beat him up in the arms, he has a very good chance of fighting.
Amir Khan's opinion also carries weight, given that he has faced both fighters firsthand, though neither experience ended well for him. Back in 2016, Khan suffered one of the most devastating knockouts of his career when Canelo landed a crushing right hand. 3 years later, he stepped in against Crawford, only for the fight to be cut short after a low blow led his corner to stop the contest. Even with those difficult memories, Khan surprisingly sides with Crawford. He praises the Nebraskan's sharp ring IQ and argues that Crawford's often overlooked punching power could make him a far more dangerous challenge for Canelo than many anticipate.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might be stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. That he might do really well in there. So look,
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit. Very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean.
Yeah.
So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Even so, plenty of cautionary voices remain. Regis Prograis, known for his own aggressive approach in the ring, has warned fans not to underestimate Canelo's experience against heavy hitters. He pointed to names like Sergey Kovalev and Gennady Golovkin, fighters with size and power who still couldn't overpower the Mexican star. Prograis questions whether Crawford can truly carry both his speed and punching power up to the 168-pound division. In his view, the gap in physical strength could be the deciding factor, a hurdle too great for Crawford to overcome.
I think that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You gotta look at it. And then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, you know, and he can look bigger Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin, he fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. You know, his head, his neck, everything looked bigger, but when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man, and I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do that. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave him trouble, Irislan, Lara, Austin Trout, Floyd, and Bebo. You know, they gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that, but I don't know how Crawford is gonna respond when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no. Jamel took a knee, you know. So it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't, you know, Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo. Now, if it was just another bigger guy, I would go with Crawford. But you talk about this might be, I mean, people might kill me for it, but well, not really, but this might be the best Mexican fighter ever.
And then there's the perspective of Roy Jones Jr., one of the sport's all-time greats. Having successfully moved through several divisions himself, Jones understands what it takes to win while climbing in weight. Unlike many others, he actually sees Crawford as the favorite in this matchup. In his eyes, Crawford is the more versatile fighter, capable of winning in multiple ways. While Jones acknowledges Canelo's power and veteran experience, he believes Crawford's hunger, intelligence, and adaptability give him the edge. From his standpoint, Canelo will need to deliver a flawless tactical performance just to stay even.
Fight that he can fight, the only correct fight that he can fight, he does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on a man who has 6 ways to win it.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight? Let's talk about the weight a little bit, right? Because we all know everything you accomplished as a heavyweight. What is Terence?
Regardless of where the predictions fall, one thing is undeniable. The fight has gripped the boxing world like few others. Many are already calling it the fight of the century, and it's easy to see why. This clash goes beyond titles, records, or paydays. It's about two of the greatest fighters of this generation meeting at a moment when their legacies are at stake. From Plant's cautious outlook to Chavez Sr.'s firm conviction, from Tava's belief in skill over size to Ruiz's reminder about styles, from Sanchez's physical concerns towards technical breakdown, From Lara's tactical advice to Khan's personal perspective, from Progray's warnings to Roy Jones Jr.'s confidence, the viewpoints are as varied as they are passionate. But once the opening bell rings at Allegiant Stadium, none of those predictions will matter. The only truth will be written inside the ropes.